Imagine how you would feel if you were in hospital awaiting surgery and some random bloke just walked up to the side of your bed and said, "Good morning, I'm going to be your surgeon today. Now, I see you're in here to have your appendix removed. I've never done the operation before. I've no idea what I'm doing. But to reassure you, I have read a couple of articles on the internet and I've watched a few YouTube videos, so you're in good hands. Not a thing to worry about." How would you feel? Well, that's exactly how this basil or basil plant is feeling right now as I'm about to prune it. Hello again. So this is basil I've grown from seed, first time I've ever grown any herbs from seed, and I gather from reading and watching some of your videos that it's now time to pinch out or prune the basil. And the idea of this is very simple. It's to encourage the plant to, rather than become tall and leggy, is to become more bushy. More bushy equals more basil or basil leaves. I think our American friends call it basil. We call it basil. So the idea is to encourage the plant to become bushier and produce more basil leaves. If you look at the stem, you have opposing leaves on nodules every few centimetres up the main stem, and in between the main stem and the leaf you have, roughly at 45 degrees, another new stem coming up, and on that new stem you have opposing leaves, as you can see here, and you have another, a bit more difficult to see here, but you've got another shoot coming off them. So the idea of pinching out the growing top, as I gather, and please don't take this as a tutorial, just a quick disclaimer, because it's the first time I've ever grown basil and it's the first time I've ever pruned them out, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. So the idea is that you will pinch the main stem just above one of the nodes, and this will encourage the plant to produce more side shoots, hence more basil leaves to use in your cooking or to dry and store. So I'm just going to pinch out now, and as you can see I pinched way too close to the nodule. Of course these leaves will be eaten, so that's the growing tip pinched out, but you can see here I didn't leave any stem above the nodule. I actually went way too close. So I'm going to come back to this in about a week or so and see if this heals over or if I've damaged the plant. I actually suspect it's quite tough and this will heal. You can see here I've left nothing above that node. So what I think is going to happen is I think that's going to heal over, and the new shoot will just continue to produce some nice large leaves and some more new shoots at 45 degrees to them. So that's the velvet basil, or red basil. It's exactly the same with the green. However, the green basil, for some reason, these were all sown at the same time, and the green basil doesn't seem to be growing nearly as fast as the red basil. But you can see here the main stem, the opposing leaves, and you have a new shoot coming up at 45 degrees. This actually reminds me of, some of you are probably far too young, but children in the 70s were crazy about space hoppers. And looking at this, it just kind of reminded me of space hopper ears, for anybody that remembers that. I'm sure you're all far too young. So any of the taller plants, I don't want them to become leggy because these are indoors at the moment. It's way too cold to put them outside and my indoor lighting isn't great. I'm just going to pinch out the growing tips, just as I showed you there, to encourage bushiness. The other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to sow a few more basil plants and I'm going to run two side by side. If you watched my earlier video, you know I had a lot more basil than this, but I've given a lot of them away now for over Christmas and the New Year. But let's see if I do a better job pinching this one. I think I did, yes. So forget about the first one. This is the way I think you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to pinch the stem and leave a tiny little bit of stem just above the node. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a couple of plants side by side. Some I'm going to pinch out, some I'm not going to pinch out, just to see what the difference is in terms of leaf production. So here we are 2 weeks later, and that's a look at the first basil plant that I pinched out, and you can see no harm has come to it whatsoever, and it's producing a lot more leaves and side shoots. The wound has completely healed over. So for those of you who are worried about this poor little basil plant, it's come to no harm whatsoever. So first attempt at growing basil, first time pinching them out. and I'm looking forward to these plants producing lots and lots of basil leaves. Okay, as I said, not a tutorial. I just wanted to document my first time trying this and seeing how it goes. Alright, as always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.